Hi guys, welcome back to Goodbye Grains. Today we are going to be making a Brussels sprout and broccoli salad. This is a great thing to bring for a potluck. You can make it ahead of time, which makes it a fabulous dish to serve to company. The ingredients, obviously we're going to be having some Brussels sprouts and also some broccoli. Now for the Brussels sprouts, I've already pre-shredded this. The easiest way to do this is cut the Brussels sprout in half and then shred each half at a time, because it's very difficult trying to cut something on a cutting board that is round where it's trying to roll all over your cutting board. This broccoli is also kind of just chopped into slightly larger pieces. You want it to be about bite-sized. You don't want it to be too small. You know that broccoli obviously disintegrates as you keep cutting it, and you don't just want to end up with a bunch of little dots. You have about 1/3 of a cup or so of finely chopped, almost minced red onion. Bacon, everybody's favorite. This is crumbled bacon. You can add much more than this if you want. I just wanted it to be kind of a little bit of a background flavor, but if you're a really big bacon fan, you know, go for it. So these are some dry toasted slivered almonds. We have our normal salt and pepper, and then we have an egg. We're only going to be using the yolk out of this, and then some olive oil. Now for the egg, this is going to not be cooked. The egg yolk will not be cooked. The egg I actually washed. Now the reason why I do that is because a lot of research that's been done, a lot of reading that I've seen just on the internet and stuff says that salmonella is actually on the shell of the egg. It's not on the egg on the inside as much. So by really kind of washing the outside of your egg and kind of using some soap, you have a little bit of a less likely chance of getting salmonella. The biggest thing too is making sure you know where your eggs come from. So you want to get some good pastured eggs locally from, you know, a reputable source. So if you could do that, I wouldn't be too worried about eating raw egg yolk. If you are, I would go out and try and find some, you know, paleo mayonnaise or something that you trust that would maybe be using some type of pasteurized egg if that's something you're worried about. So let's get started. So the first thing that we want to make is our dressing that we're going to be using for our salad. Now this dressing is basically like a mayonnaise-based dressing. The steps that we're going to be doing is very similar to how you would make paleo mayonnaise, just homemade mayonnaise in general. Homemade mayonnaise, most of them are actually naturally paleo. It's just egg yolk and some type of oil or fat that is emulsified with a little bit of seasoning. So what we have in here right now is our egg yolk, and now we're going to put on our lid and just kind of do just a couple of quick pulses to kind of break the egg yolk up. Now what we're going to do is, with the food processor on, we're just going to very, very slowly stream in the olive oil. Now what this is going to do is allow the food processor to actually emulsify the dressing. So let's do that. Okay, so now that we have all of the olive oil in, you can kind of take a look. It's pretty thin. Since we're using this as a dressing, this is the type of texture that we want. Now if you wanted it to be thicker, you could certainly either make a thick mayonnaise, or you can use store-bought mayonnaise that is paleo, but we definitely want it to be thinner for this recipe. So if you are using store-bought mayonnaise, you want to thin it out a little bit with some water. Now we want to add some salt and some pepper. And then one other ingredient I actually forgot to mention is some apple cider vinegar. And this is going to give your salad a little bit of a nice bite to it. Let's see if I can open this. There we go. And you just want a little bit, it depends on what your flavor taste is, but just a couple teaspoons up into a tablespoon. Now we just want to mix this again for a second or two. And now our dressing is ready to assemble our salad. Okay, so I grabbed a large mixing bowl and I poured the dressing out of the food processor and into the bottom. Now I also whisked in a little bit of the extra bacon fat that was left over after cooking the crumbled bacon. So we can add in some broccoli. And some of the Brussels sprouts that we shredded. We have some red onion. And of course, our bacon. Make sure to get all that extra bacon goodness. And then we're gonna add some of these slivered toasted almonds. And just with 2 big spoons, you just kind of want to lightly use the spoons to kind of move the salad around and try to evenly coat it with that dressing we just made. If you want, you can kind of turn your bowl 90 degrees and kind of do the same thing. Now I love fresh cracked black pepper on my salads, so I'm actually going to add a little bit of extra pepper right over the top. And I'm actually also going to add a little bit of a sprinkling of extra salt. Since the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts are not seasoned with anything, they're just raw that have been washed and chopped. You want to add a little bit of seasoning. You are going to get a little bit of that salty bite from the bacon, but if you want to add a little bit more, you definitely can. Now we can wrap this up and pop it into the fridge for about an hour. This will let the flavors kind of meld and come together. You can serve it right now, otherwise you can also even leave it in the fridge overnight. The great part about Brussels sprouts and broccoli is it's not going to wilt like if you had prepared a regular salad of mixed greens the night before, where by the next day the dressing will have just ruined your salad. This holds up really, really well, and you can keep it overnight. So we'll be back. Okay, so I just pulled the salad out of the fridge and it's kind of gotten a chance to kind of let all the flavors marry together. Now this makes a fantastic side dish for you know, some grilled chicken or burgers or something like that, as opposed to just a plain old green salad. The great part about this is you get the crunch from the almonds and a little bit of that crispiness from the bacon, as well as lots of, you know, really good nutrients from the Brussels sprouts and from the bacon. You can definitely leave out the red onion if you're not a fan, or if you're kind of bringing it to a potluck or having guests over if you know that they're not fans of onion. But all in all, this makes a fantastic salad and side dish. It's really easy to put together once you have everything all chopped up and ready. If you only have Brussels sprouts or only have broccoli, this salad would be perfect with that. Just kind of substitute the amount of the Brussels sprouts or the broccoli for the other one, just so you have enough greens to go with the dressing and the bacon and the red onion and the almonds. So feel free to play around, add some dried fruit or some other type of nut if you would like that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Bye.